Hello everyone, it's Dawn here and welcome. And today we're going to paint a barn. I've done the setting, as you can see. Now a couple of people have asked me, why do I paint things in their settings? Well, I think it's because they look a bit more realistic. If you put them just on a blank piece of card or watercolour paper, they kind of look like they're floating in midair. But if we put them in their settings, I think it just makes them look a bit more natural and a bit more realistic. Well, I think so anyway. If you've got a different opinion, I'd love to know. Just pop them in the comments down below. And I've already done this end here because it's done in exactly the same way. And we're going to make the base a brick, just to make it a bit more interesting. And so we're going to start with a yellow or an earth yellow, like a yellow ochre or a light Naples ochre. Anything you've got like that will be fine. And we start off by doing the divisions for the bricks like this. Quite nicely like that, just follow the lines. And sometimes in this one you might even find that the pencil lines underneath show, unless of course you were brave enough to put them in without the pencil lines, then they won't show. But even if they do, in something like this, that really doesn't matter. So we're going to put our horizontal lines in first, then we're going to put our vertical lines in like that, and that's all we need for that one. And then we need an earth brown. Now don't worry about remembering all of these colours. I'm going to add them into the description down below when I'm done. So you won't have to worry about remembering them. And we're just going to shade it quite loosely, just filling in the gaps. I'm not going to put any water on this because in this painting it's so small. To be honest with you, we don't really need any water. But I will be putting water on this top part here. So we'll just paint in this down here, or shade it in quite nicely like that. So you get a bit of the texture coming through as the bricks, which I think is rather nice. And we're going to just fill in that little bit over there. Fill it in nice and reasonably neatly. You don't have to be too worried. So there we go, that's our bricks put in. And hold on to this pencil, don't put it away forever because we will need it for the roof. But we'll come to that in a little while. And then you will need a pale brown, and again I will link all of this down below in the description. And we're going to shade horizontally like that, and we'll come to the door in a few moments, but we'll get the main part of this wall of the barn done first. So we're going to shade over there just like that, come down there like that, and just make sure we come up to the edge, but try not to go over the edge. But this is pencil, watercolour pencil in particular, so if you do go over the edge you can always wash it out or rub it out. And make it a little bit darker just underneath the roof line there. Just a little bit darker, like that. And we will, this side of this roof as well, we'll just make it a bit darker because you will see a tiny bit of that roof at the back in just a second or two. So we'll pop that to one side for a minute. We will need it again, so don't put it too far. And this time we are going to blend it with water. Blend from your darkest area up here where the roof line is. Put a little bit more water on. And then gradually blend down, but don't go over the bricks. Stop at the brick line. Otherwise everything will look the same colour and all your lovely brickwork will have been for nothing. So we'll just come down like that, carry on like that. And you'll need to be reasonably quick for the next one, so don't have it stopping wet, but make it fairly damp, shall we say. Because what we need to do next is you need a dark brown. I'm going to use a dark umber, or a burnt umber, but whatever darkish brown you've got is absolutely fine. And we're going to put in the divisions for our wood. So we're going to do that and come across there. That's why you need it still reasonably damp, because we want these lines to blur a little bit. We don't want them dead straight. So it just gives it a bit more texture and a bit more interest. And then what we do, we swap back to our light brown. I haven't forgotten about that window, don't worry. We'll get there in a second. We're going to shade in a downward motion this time. So like this. So instead of shading horizontally, we shade vertically. So we do this like this. It can be reasonably rough because this is wood and it is a barn and it's probably been standing there for quite a long time. So if it is a little bit rough and uneven, so much the better in this case. So that's what we like on this channel, don't we? Nothing too posh or nothing too particular. Keep it nice and natural. And then again, we're going to take our brush and we are going to shade downwards, just like we did when with the pencil. We're going to use our brush in the same downward motion, like this. And I'm using a small round brush because I really do think that's the best type of thing. If you were doing a larger painting, a flat brush might have been better, but on these small paintings, they really are small just for demonstration purposes, so I'm only using a small round brush. And again, we need our dark brown, and we're going to do the division first, where the door is, and then we make all the other lines just a bit thinner, again while it's still reasonably damp, so that it all blends in, or it isn't too perfect. We don't want anything too perfect on this one. We want it to look good, but we don't need it to look perfect. So again, we're just going to emphasise the door a little bit by putting a bit of a frame around it, just like that. Nothing more complicated than that. Now we're going to get to this window, and for that you will need a black. And again, I will have this all listed in the description box down below, so don't worry about remembering it. And I'm going to just shade that in quite plainly, and I'm not even going to water it in. I'm just going to leave it like that. There, one window done. That was easy, wasn't it? Now, finally, we get to the roof. Now, there is a little bit of roof showing at the back, just down here. Not much, but just a little bit. So we're going to put that on with a dry pencil, and we're going to leave it as dry pencil. And for this bit of roof at the front here, the bit that shows, so to speak, or the bit that shows most anyway, we are going to use our reddy brown or earth brown, and we're going to shade it on. Try not to go over the edge of the pencil. Try to keep within the lines. And we just carry on doing that, being careful when we get to the edges. And then finally, we're finally getting to the last bit. We take our brush just once more and we shade, or we blend, like that. And we just blend on like that. Again, if you were doing this on a larger painting, you might want to use the tip of a flat brush, because that would help you to emulate the tiles, because these will probably be tiles, but we're not going to do that today. For the purposes of demonstration, we're just going to keep it simple. And there you have your barn. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but never mind, we got there in the end. And there we have our barn. Wonderful and almost perfect, but a little bit rustic. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and that you enjoy painting your own barns. So do stay safe, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you very soon. And in the meantime, take care, and bye-bye for now.